is we're going to confirm once and for all who Jesus was according to the Torah. Enough with playing around. Once and for all, is he the one mentioned in the Gemara or not? They don't want it to be the one that's in the Gemara. Why? Because the one that's in the Gemara is a Rasha. He gets killed. He's called a Rasha. In the Gemara Masechet Gitin, it says this Yeshu came in to a seance that Onkelos, the convert, was supposed to be the next Roman emperor, but he converted to Judaism instead. Onkelos, the convert, is in every single Tanakh, every single Sefer Torah, Chumash that you buy, there's Targum Onkelos next to it. All of Judaism, all of everything depends on the commentary of Onkelos, the Ger. That's how important he is in Judaism. That this Onkelos, before he converted, Gemara says he did a seance. He didn't know he's not allowed. Did a seance. And he brought 3 neshamot. First, he brought his uncle, Titus, the former Roman emperor. He says, Titus, should I convert to Judaism? In English, Titus. Titus says, no, it's too hard for you. You are from Roman lineage. We're used to people serving us. Just kill a bunch of Jews and God's going to at least reward you in this world. Go against the Jews. And he asks, so Onkelos says, where are you? He says, I'm in Gehenom. What are they doing to you? He says, every day they burn me up and they take the ashes and spread them all over the oceans. All 7 oceans, they spread my ashes because I thought maybe I could hide from God. So God is giving it back to me, midah keneged midah, measure for measure. He's spreading my ashes, then they put me back together and burn me again. They put me back together and put me again. And again for eternity. Why? Onkelos asks his uncle, why are they doing this to you? He says, because I went and I desecrated the Bet HaMikdash. Okay, next he brings Bilam. Bilam was the prophet of the Goyim. Bilam HaRasha. There's a pasuk in Parashat Balak. And his wife was the donkey. He would commit relations with this donkey. And he went against the Jews. He led many Jews to die because of how he fooled them by convincing Balak to send all of his women there and lead the Jews to sin. And from there we learned that it's bigger to cause somebody else to sin than to sin ourselves. But anyway, Onkelos, the righteous Ger, before he converted, brings Balak. He says, should I convert? He says, no, you're not going to make it. Judaism's too hard. You come from royal lineage. Just kill a bunch of Jews and at least God will reward you in this world because he needs people to use as tools to wake up his people. He needs a staff. Hashem sometimes uses Irma, sometimes uses the Roman Empire, sometimes he uses earthquakes, sometimes he uses the Nazis, sometimes he uses the church, sometimes he uses the Messianic Jew. Different things. He says, where are you? He says, I'm in Gehenom. What does your Gehenom look like? He says, I am boiling, they're boiling me in semen. In semen. Why semen? Because I wasted all this seed on the aton, on my wife, the donkey. I committed one of the worst sins in Judaism. In the Torah, I made relations with an animal. So all this seed, I'm boiling in it. Until when? Forever. Then he brings who? He brings Yoshke, he brings Jesus. Onkelos the Ger brings Jesus. He asks Jesus, should I convert? Jesus says yes. Gemara says, Jesus says yes. Because why say yes? Because they're the real leaders of the world. Hashem created the world for them. In this world that you live in, unfortunately they're persecuted, they're beat up, they're going through a tikkun, they're going through a trial. But in the real world, they're the leaders. They're the chosen people. And he says, where are you? He says, I'm in Tzoar Tachat. I am in boiling feces. He goes, why? Why are you in boiling feast? You just told me to convert. Seems like a righteous guy. He goes, because I went against the rabbis. What were the rabbis? What was the word for rabbis that he went against? No one knows. Who read the New Testament here? What word did Jesus use for rabbis his entire life? The Pharisees. Pharisees. Who are the Pharisees? Chazal. Who are the Pharisees? What do you think? It's just Pharisees, just a bunch of guys running delis? Who do you think the Pharisees was? Chazal, the sages, the giants of the generation. Already here you see, there's a match. Why? In the Gemara, Masechet Gittin, the guy that's boiling in feces in Gehenom forever says, why am I in Gehenom? Because I went against the sages. You read the New Testament, whether it's Matthew, John, Luke, Gehenna, whatever you want, wherever you read it. Who did he go against his entire career? The Pharisees. The same thing it says in the Gemara.